Welcome back to Sim Sunday and welcome to the second episode in our long-haul domestic series, where I'm trying to recreate long-haul domestic flights in prepared 3D version 4.5. As you can see from the title of this video, we're starting today's virtual flight in New York's JFK International Airport, Terminal 5 to be precise, which of course is the terminal for JetBlue. However, a number of other airlines also use this terminal, including Hawaiian Airlines, which is what we're flying in today, non-stop to Honolulu in Hawaii. A flight scheduled to take 10 hours and 50 minutes, making it the United States' longest domestic flight currently scheduled. As with all my videos in this series, I'm using the schedule from the 1st of June 2022. So please don't beat me up if you think Hawaiian service from Boston to Honolulu is the longest commercial flight in the United States. Of course, you'd be right. But currently looking at Hawaiian Airlines schedule, they're not scheduled to fly from Boston to Honolulu non-stop. At the time I checked their schedule in January 2022. Jumping straight into SimBrief, this is looking to be a fairly straightforward daytime flight, departing the New York area heading in the direction of the Great Lakes, before crossing the country to Oakland and San Francisco in California, and then in a southwesterly direction over the Pacific Ocean towards the Hawaiian Islands. And as I said previously, with a scheduled flight time of 10 hours and 50 minutes, making this long-haul domestic service only 5 minutes shorter than the Aerosoft flight we took in the last video from Paris Charles de Gaulle to Reunion in the South Indian Ocean. Right, time to jump into the left seat of this Aerosoft Airbus A330-300 in the livery of Hawaiian Airlines and prepare the aircraft for the longest US domestic flight from here in New York, non-stop to Honolulu.
Hawaiian 51 is cleared to Honolulu. Your report is filed. Fly runway heading, climb and maintain altitude 13,000. Departure frequency is 127.6, squawk 7446.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback. Locking gear. Departure check completed. Bypass pin inserted. Release parking brakes. Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
Taxi.
Unlocking gear. Bypass pin removed. Left is clear. Right is clear.
Hawaiian 51, taxi heading point 4, runway 13 left, via taxiway Delta Alpha Delta, Whiskey Alpha Victor Uniform. Contact tower on 123.9er when ready, or on 123.9er when ready. Taxi, hold short, runway 13 left, via taxiway Charlie Hotel, Charlie, Alaska, 449er.
As we taxi out to runway 13 left here at New York's John F. Kennedy International Airport, it's time to tell you a little bit about the scenery that I've got installed here in prepared 3D version 4.5. I'm using New York JFK version 2 from FS Dreamtime but that only covers the airport. And as I fly into New York quite a lot, I've got the DRZEWIECKI Designs New York City X for prepared. And that of course covers the New York surrounding area in fairly high level scenery. But I have also purchased and got installed all of the DRZEWIECKI Designs New York City Airport packs, including New York Liberty, LaGuardia, Teterboro and so on. I have therefore turned off the JFK scenery pack from DRZEWIECKI Designs, and I'm using the version I originally purchased from FS Dream Team. Right, we're approaching the threshold of runway 13 left here at JFK, so it's time for me to shut up and get this bird into the sky.
Kennedy Tower, Alaska, 449er, ready for IFR departure, runway 13 left.
Alaska 449er, cleared for takeoff, runway 13 left, surface wind 154 at 4.
Clear for takeoff, runway 13 left. Alaska 449er, Kennedy Tower, Hawaiian 51 at runway 13 left, ready for departure, IFR to Honolulu.
Hawaiian 51, hold short, runway 13 left, traffic is Boeing 737 on the runway.
Hold short, runway 13 left, Hawaiian 51. Line up and wait, Hawaiian 51.
On runway 13 New York departure on 127.6.
Over 2127.6, Alaska 449er, goodbye.
Hawaiian 51, cleared for takeoff, runway 13 left, surface wind 154 at 4.
Clear for takeoff, runway 13 left, Hawaiian 51. Delta 39er 1 7 miles south, inbound ILS, runway 4, right approach.
Delta 39er 1, Kennedy Tower, continue, runway 4, right, altimeter 3025. Delta 39er 1, cleared to land, runway 4, right, caution, Bombardier landing, runway 4, left.
Cleared to land, runway 4.
Hawaiian 51, contact New York departure on 127.6.
Over 2127.6, Hawaiian 51, bye-bye. New York departure, Hawaiian 51 is climbing through 1,100 for altitude 13,000.
Hawaiian 51, New York departure, roger, altimeter 3025. Hawaiian 51, turn left, heading 015, resume on navigation, climb and maintain altitude 13,000.
Turn left, heading 015, resume on navigation, climb altitude 13,000.
Roger, altimeter 3022.
Hawaiian 5-1, lost control, roger, altimeter 302. Lost control, Hawaiian 5-1, then climbing through 10,400, for altitude 13,000. Hawaiian 5-1, lost control, roger, altimeter 302, warp.
That was a very interesting departure out of New York JFK. There certainly did seem to be a SID OK, but we were being vectored by ATC towards the first waypoint, which looked to be about 20 miles north of the airfield. Despite being relatively heavy with around 72 metric tons of fuel on board, the Airbus A330-300 took it in its stride. In the last video, when we flew the Boeing 777-300ER from Paris down to Reunion, we had 102 metric tons of fuel on board, so we're pretty well exactly 30 metric tons less in the Airbus for a pretty similar duration of journey. Our initial cruise would be flight level 340 or 34,000 feet, and while this Airbus A330 seems to outperform the Boeing 777, the real Airbus pilot did inform me that the 777-300ER has got a much higher cargo capacity, not to mention range. However, after flying both aircraft over these two long-haul domestic videos, I do completely understand why airlines scramble to get the Airbus A330 in their fleet, despite it being a relatively old aircraft. Anyway, it's time to relax as we make our journey across the United States towards the Pacific Ocean and then on to the Paradise Islands of Hawaii.
91, descend and maintain flight level 210.
I have some drink for you, Captain. Here you are.
Our first step climb came somewhere between Chicago and Denver. Checking out the progress page on the FMC, it was showing an optimal altitude of flight level 367. Taking into consideration that we are flying westbound, I therefore requested flight level 360.
Hawaiian 5-1, climb flight level 360. Climb and maintain flight level 360, Hawaiian 5-1.
The second step climb took place as we approached the Bay Area, Oakland and of course San Francisco. At this point we would be leaving flight level 360 and heading up to flight level 380 or 38,000 feet.
Hawaiian 5-1,
From 38,000 feet, with the Hawaiian Islands coming in to view, it was soon time to make our descent towards Honolulu. To be honest, my journey across the Pacific Ocean had been very uneventful. We did have to dodge a couple of thunderstorms, but to be quite frank, that was it. As I start the initial descent towards Honolulu International Airport, we're being vectored towards runway 04 right. And I think on every approach I've ever made into Honolulu, from FS98 through to FSX and of course prepared 3D version 4.5, which we're in today, I've been given this approach for 04 right. And during my one and only visit ever to the Hawaiian Islands back in December 2007, I believe this was also the approach we took back then in real life on board the Air Canada Pacific Flyer Boeing 767-200 from Vancouver. Okay, back to today's flight. We're about to take a number of left-hand turns as we line up to make our approach onto runway 04 right here at Honolulu.
Honolulu Tower, Hawaiian 51 is 17 miles southwest inbound ILS. Runway 4 right approach. Hawaiian 51, Honolulu Tower. Continue runway 4 right. Altimeter 3009er.
2,500.
Cleared to land. Runway 4 right. Hawaiian 51.
One thousand.
Southwest inbound ILS.
500.
Runway 4 right approach. United 1431 Honolulu Tower. Continue runway 4 right. Altimeter 3007.
400.
Continue runway 4 right. United 1431. United 1431.
100
Clear to
above.
land. Runway 4 right. All the aircraft on final. Cleared to land. Runway 4 right. United
Minimum
1431.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. Retard. Retard. 5.
1,200 meters remaining.
Hawaiian 51, contact ground on 121.9.
Approaching 22 right. Approaching 22 right. Approaching 22 right. Approaching 22.
Welcome to Honolulu International Airport in Hawaii. And the airport scenery that you're seeing here today is from Orbx. In fact, I've got the complete airport set for Hawaii from Orbx. But I've never bothered to buy the Orbx Cityscape pack for Honolulu City itself. Right, time to get this aircraft cleaned up before we taxi to the gate. And we bring another episode of Sim Sunday to a close. In the next video, we're heading back to Mount Pleasant in the Falkland Islands in another two-parter, this time from Bryce Norton in Oxfordshire, as we continue our long-haul domestic mini-series. So you know what to do if you want to continue to follow the channel as we recreate real-world flights in Flight Simulator. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and click the bell icon if you wish to be notified on the next video being published on Sim Sunday. All that remains for me to say now is thank you very much for watching, and wherever you're flying in your virtual world, don't forget to fly safe.